Back from Italy, and a beautiful place, but a little bit about the sailing itself. Obviously, new to you guys on a lake, a little different from open water. What were some of the challenges you guys faced right off the bat? You had a few days of training, but what were some of those challenges?
Well, there's the usual stuff, adjusting to a different boat. We had to charter a boat. We couldn't use our boat that's here in Bermuda, so some of the systems were a little different. Things worked a little differently, so we had to rig up some different things there. The other difference is it's significantly colder there, so just the density of the air, it's a little different in the sails. And then it's the same with the fresh water. Being on the lake, it's different sailing to sailing on salt water. So, there's a bunch of little tricky things that we had to adjust to, but, it's good.
As a team, you're always learning when there's new surroundings and everything. How did you guys manage each other, expectations, encouragement, and all that? How did you guys manage that?
It was tough. It was a huge learning experience, and it was a little emotional at times, for sure, but I think the experience was certainly worth it, and it's certainly something that we're so thankful to our sponsors, and particularly Oil, for getting us to be able to do, because it's going to be invaluable come regatta time for the Youth Americas Cup.
Right. The fact that, how many of you, 6 went, leaving how many back?
3.
3. How do they get up to speed when you guys come race time? Because you guys have got a notch in your belt already at that level of competition.
Right. Well, we did take a bunch of video, so that's something that's certainly going to be able to help. But unfortunately, it was a little too expensive to do a full team thing, and the way the rules work for the sailing, we were actually lucky to sub in our 6th person. Because usually it's a 5-man crew and you're not allowed to rotate your crew. So we were very fortunate that they let us sub in even 1 extra person at the event. So it'll be a little tough, but the majority of the crews got that experience, and it's going to be super helpful for the event.
When you tipped over, what was that like? What were you guys doing or trying to do? You weren't the only boat to go over, but what were you guys trying to do that resulted in you capsizing?
Unfortunately, we had a terrible first race that day, and to make up for that, we kind of poured our energy into the second race, and so we kind of switched our brains off after we crossed the line of that second race, and unfortunately, we were told to bear away. We had to make some adjustments to the rig, and basically we went into a bear away, not thinking about it, not setting up the boat properly for what we needed to do, because we were tired, and unfortunately we flipped. But we did it already here in Bermuda, and with the proper safety boats around and us having done it before, it wasn't a big deal. We got it upright, checked everything over, and continued racing. We missed the time trial, but we didn't miss any of the racing. So I think all in all, with how little damage there was, it's probably the best way it could have happened.
And you talk about the time trial, new experience for you guys, because it's just a straight line, blow for it as fast as you can. How do you get that machine to do that, but stay in control?
Well, it's, the time trial itself is actually fairly similar to the start of every race. Mm-hmm. So you start with a reaching start, you do a reach, and you do a jibe around the mark. And the only new thing is, instead of going downwind, you go reach back to the starting line, essentially. So it wasn't too different. It wasn't too much different from what we normally do. It was more of a fun thing to try and do. And, initially we did really well. On the first day of time trials, we were tied for 4th, but unfortunately missing the windy day of time trials, and on the last day we didn't do as well on the time trial as we could have. We just made a minor mistake in a jibe. So overall it was more of a fun thing to get into, and a different take on how we normally sail the boat.
What do you take from this experience personally yourself?
I think the biggest thing that we're going to take from this is knowing how to be comfortable with other boats around. So we did a little racing with 3 other AC-45s back at the end of March, beginning of April, and it's different. you don't think it's so big a jump from 3 other boats around to 5 other boats around to 10 other boats around, but it makes a huge difference with the speeds these boats do.
Yeah. Do you miss playing your inline hockey?
I do miss playing hockey. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to right now.
All right, well, welcome back.
Thank you very much.